The happier you are means you'll probably have better sales conversations, so you'll sell more. You'll probably have better ideas, so you'll do better marketing. You'll have more energy, so you'll be more magnetic. So it's not optional. You know what I've realized? Happiness isn't a side effect of success, it's a strategy, and it's wildly underrated in business. We've been taught to push, to prove, to grind, to delay joy. Like, when I do this, then I'll do that. When I get there, then this. When this, then that. And guess what? It's not working. You're not here to build a business that burns you out. You're here to build a business that lights you the frick up, makes you money, and gives you the amazing freaking life and lifestyle that you deserve. I'm Deirdre Martin, triple certified, award-winning international best-selling author, and I help ambitious service providers like you hit their first 100K or million in business, all without sacrificing your health for your wealth. And today, I'm talking more about your mindset. I'm studying coaching with neuroscience right now. I've got my certificate and I'm working towards my advanced diploma. And as part of this, there was a recommended reading list. On that list was a book called Authentic Happiness by Martin Seligman. Don't worry, this isn't a book review episode, though I highly recommend that you read the book. It's freaking epic. This episode is about Seligman's PERMA method and how you can use it to turn your business into a profit machine. The type of profit machine that makes you want to jump out of the bed in the morning because you actually enjoy running your business so much. Plus, I'm going to tell you why I bought a sexy new car, got a couple of tattoos, and finally stopped giving a crap about FOPO and FOBO and FOMO. And if you don't know what those are, don't worry, you will. Okay, first off, PERMA. PERMA stands for positive emotion. That's the P. E is for engagement, R is relationships, M is meaning, and A, accomplishment. Each one feeds your happiness and each one fuels your performance. So let's break it down like a badass business blueprint again, not a book review. Okay, so P is positive emotion. So what does this mean? It really means like trying to figure out what lights you up on the daily, not like at the weekend, like literally on the daily. And I'm not talking toxic positivity here because there's a lot of that going around right now, I feel. I'm talking about intentionally building more good shit into your life so you have more to give to the things that you love, and in turn, more things to give to your business. And here's why this is important. This isn't like some fluffy thing. There was actually a research study done by Oxford University, and they found that happy workers are 13% more productive. 13%. Let that land. So it's not a fluffy stat. It's actually a revenue driving reality. The happier you are means you'll probably have better sales conversations, so you'll sell more. You'll probably have better ideas, so you'll do better marketing. You'll have more energy, so you'll be more magnetic. So it's not optional, this happiness thing. It's actually essential if you want your business to scale. It helps you bounce back faster as well when shit hits the fan. And if you've been running your business a while, you will know too, right? Shit hits the fan quite a lot, right? So here are some tips I've been applying since discovering the PERMA model that I think will benefit you too. So I'm going to give you 3 tips under each of the PERMA elements. So tip 1 under P for positive emotion is design your day around dopamine, right? And yes, it's a bit like putting your brain on speed because it's like, what gives you energy, right? It's figuring out what lights you up, what gets you buzzed, what gets you excited, and what makes you energized, and bring all of that. And it's like, for you, it might be something different. It could be going for a walk. It could be listening to music, journaling, moving, whatever it is. Schedule that so it's the first thing you do in your day. And don't leave it to chance or plan it for when you finish work. Do it first thing in the morning, because that means you're starting your day with the dopamine hit and you're like, yay, raring to go. Okay. For me, it's a hit workout in the morning. So I do a 25-minute workout followed by a 3-minute cool down. And then once that's done, I'll grab a coffee, I'll sit down and drink my coffee, and I journal while I grab my coffee. And like my brain is fired up because I've exercised, I'm feeling good, I'm like my body might be aching, but I love that because it means, it means I've worked, and I like that. I like that effect. And for me, my health is a really important value for me. So making sure I look after my body and my health and I'm physically strong is a great way to start the day. So what's yours? What's your dopamine hit? Figure that out. Tip 2 is kill the mood killers. Now, before you think I'm going down the saucy side on this, it's okay. This is a business podcast. You're all right. Keep listening. Those are Saturday night conversations I have with my friends. Okay, so from a business perspective, mood killers, I'm talking about you looking at the things that drain you, like auditing your drainers, whether that's clients, because you've got people who are battery chargers, you've got people who are battery drainers. And for me, I'm really intentional about the clients that I want to work with. And I will turn away clients who I don't think are a good fit. If you've got clients that you're working with and they're draining your energy, fire them, let them go, put up your prices until it feels good. And then you're like, yay, because you're making the money that feels good to work for those types of clients. If there's content formats that you hate creating, get rid of them. If there's tasks that deaden your soul, I don't know, automate them, delegate them, delete them, do whatever you need to. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll notice nearly all my posts over the last couple of months, they have been selfies, because honestly, I got a bit lazy. I got a bit tired of LinkedIn, I have to admit, tired of creating content. And so what I've started to do is repurpose a bit more. I've gotten some help from one of my team members to create the content, so I'm not having to do it all myself anymore, and it's more fun. I even got to the stage where I was like paying others to create carousels, but then I was frustrated because I was paying someone, taking the time to tell them what to put into it, and they were still getting no traction. So I literally just stopped doing it. It was a mood killer for me on LinkedIn. And now I'm ready to do more video. So if you're following me right now, you'll see there's more video coming out. And that's because I took a break from the mood killers. I've re-energized myself, and now I'm ready to go at it in a different way with more energy and with dopamine hit, right? So tip 3, share your wins publicly. Now, I know you might be like, oh, Deirdre, I can't do that. That's bragging, and that's just not me. But let me tell you, joy grows when it's shared. And that post about the win, it's not bragging, it's business. It's energy marketing. And people buy from people who are lit up. The energy is magnetic. When you feel buzzed, that's the time to share it. And so often the posts and content that gets the most traction is the stuff you do on the spur of the moment because you're in that energy. So more of that will get you better results from your content. And maybe you don't want to share it publicly on LinkedIn or a social media platform, but share it in a community that you're in. Share it with your coach or your mentor. And for me, I love to reward myself with stuff and celebrate. And that might be I read my book or I have my bath. It doesn't always mean that I have to, go out and buy something. But here's something I did buy, and something I put off doing was that I put off buying a car that I'd wanted for years. Like I was scared of what people would think, how they'd judge me, and say things like, who does she think she is driving that yoke? Real Irish thing. Who does she think she is driving that yoke? She must be either loaded or just full of herself, right? And that's FOPO, fear of other people's opinions. But I just recently said, and maybe I'm having a midlife crisis, I don't know, but I basically just said, screw it. Screw anyone else's opinion. Their opinion is their business and not mine. And yeah, I'm like that with a lot of things, but and usually those things don't bother me. But yeah, this was a thing that had held me back from changing my car for years. I was literally with my old car out there jump starting my battery. Like freaking ridiculous stuff. Yeah, we had like a fab BMW. We have a lovely Jeep as well. Like, we're not short of a few bob, but like, what the heck? Yeah, jump starting my car regularly. Yeah. Why didn't I change my car sooner? It's ridiculous. And it was totally fear of people judging me because I didn't want to buy any car. I wanted to buy the sexy car that I bought. And holding myself back because of people's opinions, ridiculous. And what I've since learned is that usually people who judge you, they do so because of their own beliefs, things ingrained in them, maybe since their childhood. And as Mel Robbins would say, let them think what they want to think. I drive my car for me. I bought my car for me. I got my tattoos for me. And guess what? I show up bigger now. Not because they're material items or luxury items or like status symbols, anything like that, but because they're things I've always wanted. They're things that I've worked for and things that I have thought, what's the point in waiting any longer? Because it's like, I want to go on a cruise and I don't want to wait and go on a freaking retirement cruise. Me and my husband, we're planning on going on a 6 month cruise around the world and like not waiting until we freaking retire to do it. We want to bring work with us, cruise around the world and live life to the fullest, but do it now and not wait and not fear what people are going to think about us when we do that. And let me tell you, I am so super happy with my sexy new car and tattoos, and that joy just expands everything. So, yeah, P from PERMA is positive emotion. So, now let's look at E. E for engagement. So engagement is really about finding where are you in flow as opposed to just being in the weeds. Because in business, it's so easy to just spend your days drowning in Canva, buried in your inbox, or tweaking your sales page for the 100th time. That's definitely me and my main website. Oh, I definitely need some work right now. But you know what? I'm like, yeah, just it's not a priority right now. It's on the to-do list, but it's not urgent. So it'll get done when it gets done. But here's my 3 tips under engagement. So tip 1, find your flow state of work. And what I mean by that is you've heard of flow. It's literally where you get lost in doing a task. It's where time slips by and you're like, whoa, when you eventually come up for air. So figure out what that is for you. Is it writing? Is it coaching? Is it strategy? Is it client delivery? Whatever it is, figure out a way to do more of that every single day because that flow stuff, that's where you are literally in your element, living your best life, doing the things that you love. And like when you're doing the things that you love, your business is not a job. It's not a business. It's like, it's not even a business. It's like, and it's not even a hobby. It's just so much more. So figure out what that is for you if you don't know. Tip number 2, make admin fun or eliminate it. If you hate invoicing, automate it. Seriously, we had Edel Hayes on the show, episode 128. She's a super accountant, and we talked about Xero and different ways that you could automate things related to finance. If you hate writing captions, repurpose or create ChatGPT prompts, create custom prompts, things that will help you create stuff really fast and easily. You deserve systems that serve you, not ones that suck you dry, drain your energy, and just make you feel meh. So another thing to do is to gamify it so it's more fun. Set a task, set a time limit, do a sprint, do something else. And that makes it more fun. Reward yourself at the end. Maybe have it so that it's at levels or something, but make it fun. Tip 3, ditch any freaking comparison scrolling. If you're doing this, you need to ditch it anyway. But, I know a lot of you might scroll for inspiration, but then you end up in a shame spiral where you're like not actually researching, but you're self-sabotaging. You're like looking at all those people and you're thinking, they're so much further along than me. All of that sort of crap where you get in your own head and then you end up basically doing nothing. So get strategic with your engagement on socials to avoid that happening. But if you are going to go and scroll for inspiration, protect your focus or even clean your feed if you need to. I once got lost building a client's brand story for nearly 5 or 6 hours. No food, no phone, pure flow. That's the kind of engagement I'm talking about. And when you build from that energy, your work really becomes magic. Okay, so E was engagement. Next is R. So we've done P and E. Now we're on R, and R is relationships. So you need business besties, right? Not just customers, not buyers, not stakeholders, suppliers. You need business besties. And I don't know about you, but I definitely have learned throughout my career that the higher up you go, the lonelier it is. And let me tell you, entrepreneurship is lonely as hell if you don't build the right relationships. But you already know that, right? So here's tip one: curate your crew. Surround yourself with people who raise your standards, not your stress. Get in the rooms where you're millionizing your mindset, where your people are helping you millionize your strategies and your results, and where that's normal. Those types of rooms are the rooms to be in. Tip two, be radically honest online. Yes, online, because people don't connect to polished corporate faceless logos, they connect to real people. So share the fears, share the fuck ups. That's what builds trust. And trust is the foundation for all long lasting relationships. Tip three, nurture your ride or dies. Yep, your real life people matter. The ones who remind you who you are when the algorithms don't. Protect those bonds like gold. So for me, that's one of my horses, Vincent. He's my ride or die. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's getting on in years, but you know what? Yeah, he's just great. And he helps ground me. He helps me, like, I have that relationship with the horse. He helps me just, whoa, calm down, forget all the stuff that's going on. And you know what? It's a dopamine hit too. It creates all those positive emotions for me. Even talking about him, I'm like, yeah, I know my Vincent. Well, I mentioned I got two tattoos recently, right? And I didn't just like go to the tattoo artist and be like, yeah, I just want to get one tattoo. I went and I got two. But what I didn't say was I got them 30 freaking years after I first walked into a tattoo shop. And you know what stopped me before? It was FOBO and FOPO. So fear of better options is in I'd pick something that I wouldn't like later, and then fear of other people's opinions again. But life's not a dress rehearsal. Seriously, we're here for a good time, not a long time. So do the thing. Do the thing you've been putting off. Like, so long as it's not going to harm you in any way, right? Do the thing. Okay? Right. M in PERMA is meaning. Why does your business even matter? And if you don't feel connected to what you do, burnout will find you fast. I've seen this happen to clients. Thankfully, none of my clients have burned out while we've been working together, but a lot of my clients have burned out. And a lot of women who are going through perimenopause and menopause who've been clients, they've burned out. For men, it's different. It's trying to be a provider, where often the men that I work with, their wives are at home all the time. And so there's a lot more pressure on them to bring in the money at home, you know? So here's tip one. Ask yourself, who suffers if I stay small or if I burn out? And get visceral. Picture them. Is it that client who's struggling right now because you're holding back online and you're not being radically honest? And they haven't found you for that reason. Or is it your family because you're all the time at work and you haven't looked at other ways to engage your business? You haven't looked at other ways to improve your sales. You haven't looked at alternative ways to scale. Think about that. Here's tip two. Connect your brand and your business to a cause. So pick something you believe in and build it into your business. Because when you do that, meaning magnifies your motivation. It will help you get through the hardest of times because that meaning is purposeful. So you're motivated by the purpose. And I'm going to talk about purpose again in a second. But tip number 3 first is revisit your origin story. Like, why did you start this business in the first place? Write it out, speak it out, anchor into it when the dopamine dips, because that's how you remember your why. That's what grounds you and brings you back and helps keep you going when you're like, the ground is shaky underneath you. It's a fantastic tool and technique to bring you back to why. Remember your why. Everything starts with why. So I mentioned purpose, right? Purpose is literally freaking rocket fuel. Like, it's actual rocket fuel. I don't run my business because I love running a business. Like, seriously, yes, I enjoy running a business, but I don't love it. It'd be much easier if I was an employee, right? Because there's parts of my business I really don't like, but yeah, I do them anyway. Not because I like running my business, but I run my business because I want to help more individuals become unstoppable, unshakable, unforgettable, and uncopyable, because no one person is better than another. No matter your background, your experience, or what got you here, every single person deserves success. And I see my business as a way to help people achieve it. And purpose and values are so closely aligned and can help you grow your business if you use them strategically. Now, I recorded an episode on values before. It's episode 99, and it's more so about how you can disrupt your industry by using values to drive business success. So it's a really interesting way to look at your values, and it's a fantastic way if you want to stand out, sell, and scale in a way that really feels good. So if that's you, well, then that's a great one to tune into. Okay, so we've done P, positive emotion. We've done E for engagement, R for relationships, M for meaning, and lastly, A in PERMA is accomplishment. So what is that? It's like wins, basically, right? It's wins, and wins fuel momentum. So you need to feel like you're winning. And so often in business, we set ourselves up to feel like we're freaking failing. I mentioned social media scrolling and then going into that comparison analysis stuff where you're looking at everybody else and you're thinking how crappy you are. Or you set these crazy goals that you're never going to achieve. And I don't disagree with setting crazy, hairy, audacious goals. I think it's really important. But it's about not beating yourself up when you don't actually hit that big goal. It's more about celebrating the progress and the wins all of the way. So tip number 1 is, if you set a goal, don't move the freaking goalpost, and celebrate every win like it really matters to you, because it freaking does. And those little wins, that's momentum, and momentum builds in the micro. So in one of my programs, we have traction calls, because you've got to get traction to get momentum, and you've got to get traction and momentum to be able to accelerate, right? So it's progress, it's energy in motion. Tip number 2, track progress your way, whether it's money or reach, peace, boundaries, energy levels. For me, it's energy levels. I'm like, I go to my coaching session and my coach says, right, Deirdre, what do you want to bring into this session? And I'm like, high energy, let's go. And, that's one of the things that I want to be coached on. I want more energy. I want more fun in my life and my business. So it's not just revenue. I'm not just working to make money, and I'm working because I have a purpose. And on that, I want to enjoy the journey. And this is like, it is part of mastering your business. It's way that more than about the money, and it should be. But this point is, in terms of accomplishment, is you get to define success, right? So celebrate every little micro win, and don't wait until you hit the giant goal you set, because you may never reach that giant goal, but every single step along the journey is a win. And our brains are totally wired to identify the bits we didn't hit instead of the we did hit. And if you think about what you know now versus what you knew when you started your business, I'll bet, oh my gosh, you'd probably say to yourself, well, if I only knew then what I know now, I'd be so much further along. But that progress that you've made, celebrate that. That's incredible. And I'd nearly bet you $1 million that you haven't celebrated all of that progress to where you are right now from where you started, right? I'd nearly bet you. So if you're one of the people who did celebrate them, you can't come and tell me that I need to pay you $1 million. Just no. Okay. Tip number 3, before I lose $1 million, tip number 3 is create a success ritual. So Fridays, review your wins, do a little happy dance, toast, high five yourself in the mirror, whatever works for you. Make it a thing. I like to journal on a Friday and reflect my highs from the week, things that went well. And every Friday with my clients, I check in and ask what goals they hit. And so many of them say how helpful this little prompt is to reflect. And, it's accountability as much as that reflection of wins as well, because they all hit goals and all used to hit goals, but they all used to skip the celebration, and not anymore. We mark the wins now because what you celebrate, you multiply. If this episode's hitting home at all, I will go and binge episode 91, and that's how self-care can help you make more money in your business, because burnout does not build bank accounts. Okay, I've got a freebie for you today as well. Grab the brand strategy checklist. It helps you align your business with what actually makes you happy, so your brand starts feeling like you and not a marketing mask. I'll link it in the show notes, but you can also go to deirdremartin.ie/brand strategy checklist. Okay, so let's wrap up this episode with a quick little summary. So first off, happiness is not fluff, it's fuel, and it can absolutely drive your income when you feel joyous and happy doing the work that you do. You don't owe anyone an explanation for doing what lights you up, so do the thing, so long as it keeps you safe and you're not going to have to put yourself in harm's way. And this week, right? Because you've got to take some action to get some traction, to build momentum, to be able to accelerate. This week, pick one element from the PERMA model. Apply one of the tips I shared and just wait and watch what shifts. Then go download the brand strategy checklist. Build a brand that feels like home, that feels good. And remember, you're not here forever. So get the frickin' tattoo, drive the car, buy the car, whatever. Launch the damn thing. You're here for a good time, make it count. Share this episode with your business bestie if it hit home. Maybe they're waiting for the right time or stuck in the weeds and need a lift in their business. But this will give them the PERMA boost that they need to find their spark again. And it'll show them they're part of your R in the PERMA method. If you haven't yet rated or reviewed the show wherever you're listening in from today, please do me a solid and take a second to do that. On Spotify, you can rate the show by giving me some stars if you feel it deserves it, or on Apple, you can even leave a review with a little comment. It really does mean the world when you take the time to do that, and helps the algorithm gods or gurus or whatever they are share the show with other entrepreneurs looking to master their businesses too. So thank you in advance for that. And until next time, keep mastering your business.